I don't respect the man as much as I used to, but I respect his achievements and what he's done for Arsenal Football Club.
I've had a season ticket since 1986 and I'm fed up and I've had enough of the same old.
For whatever he's done for the club, you've got to hold him to account at some point.
It's got to be aimed at a man who has done good work for our club. Well, I've been calling for this for quite a long time because I'd say most of us have met each other through the online Gooner, which is the main fanzine. I've been writing for the Gooner for well over 10 years. And you know, there was so many people online who were really turning against Wenger. The Wenger must go thread started 10 years ago. That's how fed up, that's how long people have been fed up for. So I just kept saying, look, we can't keep moaning on here. If we really believe that Arsene Wenger is holding our club back, which we do, when one bad result became two bad results, became three, every season followed the same pattern. I said, look, we've got to get out. We've got to stop moaning online. We've got to get out and let them know. There's enough of us now. This proves how many of us there are. And you know, thankfully, a lot of people feel the same way. None of us want to be here. I'd rather be at home with my family. But Arsene Wenger is holding our club back and it's time for him to go.
I'm ready for change, but I'm not ready to protest. So I'm here now, I'm talking to you, but I won't be involved in the march. I would rather believe that Arsene Wenger will see himself that the time has come and do what he thinks he should do for the right and the good of Arsenal Football Club. I tend to try and believe that. You know, I guess the people who do want to protest will say that someone, you know, with a degree of influence maybe should be doing more. I find it quite difficult. I write a lot about Arsenal. I write articles, I write freelance articles, I write for my own blog. I tend to use the written word to question Wenger tactically, and for me, I know other people get hung up in the way he spends the money, the way he doesn't spend the money, the way he hasn't spent the money at the times they want him to spend, you know, all of which are frustrating for me when it comes to Wenger. And the reason I want change, it's much more about the tactics on the pitch and the fact that he's not willing to change tactics, the fact that he's not willing to change formations, embrace new ideas. So, you know, the way I would express myself, and hopefully people will take notice, you know, not just me, but other journalists, particular journalists, not myself, who will write about questioning why you aren't changing the system, why are you still doing the same things all the time, why are you playing the same formation. You know, I would hope that would get through to Wenger as much as people marching and saying we don't want you here anymore.
The connection between the club and the fans has broken down. In the old days there was a connection from both the club to the supporters and the players to the supporters. We were just another number. I mean, I think the comment in saying that we were customers rather than fans encapsulated all of that in their attitude towards us. Actually, when I first started supporting Arsenal, it was pretty bad because Tottenham were the better team. My first game was losing at home to Spurs. Then in '71 we won the double. That was fantastic. And there have been bad times. I mean, I have a lot of admiration and respect for Wenger. He's brought some fantastic years, the best football that we've seen. But you know, time moves on and he hasn't moved on.
We're here till the end. Wenger out. No new contract! No new contract! No new contract!
Wenger has failed for a good few years. We've won a couple of FA Cups. The facts are we've spent money, we strengthened the squad, and it's the same mistakes being made every year. Lack of tactics, lack of organisation, lack of heart, and the problem is I think the players overall are good. When you look at what Chelsea have done, you've got Victor Moses is probably going to win the title as a right wing back, Marcus Alonso as a left wing back, and then you've got David Luiz. Really, I mean, he's been good this season, but he's not really world class. And then you've got probably a group of players probably as good as, far away as ever. And look, and again with the Chelsea example, if you're going to be short term and look at that, same group of players under Mourinho minus a couple of additions, and look what they're doing this season. They're romping away with the title. Well,
if the board stays the same and he wins the FA Cup and finishes in the top four, I'm not agreeing with this, but I think he will think he's done enough. I think he will think even that he's succeeded. I wouldn't agree with either of those statements. I'm not personally that worried about the Champions League. I am worried about the FA Cup. I think winning the FA Cup would be some degree of success, but I don't think it's enough. But unfortunately, it's not the fans who seem to be making the decision. It's the people who are running the club currently, and the people who are running the club currently do think it's enough. So, If the simple answer to the question is, if he thinks that fourth in the FA Cup's enough, and I think he does, that way he'll save his job.
It's got to be aimed at a man who has done good work for our club. No one can deny it. No one can say he wasn't a good manager. He was. He unfortunately has gone on for too long. That's why this anger is there. But we will keep the anger respectful. We've had people online saying over and over again, keep it respectful, keep it peaceful, don't insult anybody, don't spoil anyone's day. But also we're going to get across our depth of feeling that we do think Arsene Wenger's time isn't up now, it was up 7-8 years ago.
Wenger's given us so many great memories. I mean, we reached the Champions League final in 2006 with Senderos, Kolo Touré and Flamini as in our back four. And you sort of think of all the memories, you sort of think of what's going on now. And the thing is that everyone's living off those past memories. And the facts are Wenger's performance since probably 2010-11 has been unacceptable. And for me, you've got to hold, for whatever he's done for the club, you've got to hold him to account at some point.
I think it's inevitable that he'll stay. I think it's as inevitable as us finishing fourth again and being in the Champions League and being humiliated again in the knockout rounds. It shouldn't happen, but he's making lots of money for the club. It's more of a business than something that cares about the fans, so it's probably going to happen.
There's already an awful lot of Gooners that I knew from years ago who don't come anymore. Just gave up. Too expensive to watch the same mistakes being made again and again and again. People just got fed up with it. So I think if that happened, you'd end up with what it is now, a stadium full of tourists, which is brilliant for the club, brilliant for Stan Kroenke, fills his pockets, but it's soulless. So I think another 2 years would be more of the same, look good for a while, top four, last 16, more embarrassments like we had on Tuesday night.
I would draw the analogy with George Graham. There's a lot of Wenger fans and George Graham fans who use this to throw mud at each other. You know, I loved George Graham and I love what he achieved at the club. In the last 2 years, I wanted him to go. Why did I want him to go? Because we stopped playing entertaining football, we stopped challenging and trying to win things, and you know, we were winning things, but we weren't doing it in the right way. And I feel that about Wenger. Whilst he was playing football that I loved, I was happy to support him. I don't come to the matches and get excited. We're not playing thrilling football. We're probably about 1 game in 10 at the moment where I think, wow, that was Wenger ball. We don't play Wenger ball anymore. It's a myth. We haven't played that good football for ages. So for me, it's as much about the way we play football. I want to turn on a Saturday, have a pint with my friends and enjoy going to football. And if that means we challenge and we don't finish in the top four, if it means we challenge and we don't win the FA Cup, I can live with that because we're being entertained and I feel we're trying to do things in the right way. And that was always the Wenger way. That is not the way right now.
It's never your fault. It's never your fault. Arsene Wenger, it's never your fault. We won't take this shit no more.
There's probably quite a lot of supporters that don't want to protest against Wenger because of what he's done for the club. And fair enough, it's their prerogative. But you've got to listen to the fact that we're stale and the fact that it's the same mistakes, the same season every single year. And even if we do win for me, if we win the FA Cup, say beat Tottenham in the final and Wenger walks, what a great way to go out.
What it does show is for Arsenal fans have never done this before. We have never protested against it. We've never had to before. We've never had to protest against our manager before. And for fans of a great club to do that shows how many people are so fed up with what this man's doing to our club. The fact that he will not accept his part in the awful defeats we see over and over again. So yeah, I am impressed and hopefully it will continue until he's gone.
I do happen to think that part of the lack of winning mentality is down to Wenger. For that long period of time where he chose not to field strong sides in the FA Cup, to a degree in the League Cup, which I sort of probably accept because and that's become the norm. But in the FA Cup from 2008, 2010, 11, we were fielding weakened sides against other Premiership sides. That can't help the mentality of those younger players at the time. And I think maybe the likes of Fabregas and Van Persie and Pleb and Rosicky, those players might have gone on to win something in an Arsenal shirt if they'd been allowed to play in those competitions back in 2010 and 2011. So they're the sort of things that bug me about Wenger, because he seems to have the right to pick and choose which tournaments are right for Arsenal Football Club to win, whereas I don't think it's right for one man to have that decision. And younger fans will say, well, it's more important to win the Premier League or more important to win the Champions League. Yeah, maybe it is, but ultimately, you know, winning trophies breeds winning trophies. and we gave up on the idea of winning trophies for a 4 or 5 year period, and we hide behind the austerity and the moving stadium thing. I don't buy it.
Arsene, if you are listening, if any of your people show you this, please leave. You've taken the club as far as you can.